Hello Tubesters, it's me Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Apologise for the slight squinty eyes. One of the old weeks where I don't sleep much. You don't really need to know that, but I just see myself in the viewfinder thinking, oh my life. Look pretty rough for a 25-year-old. Right, finally got the reveal on the Perry Miniatures plastic 28mm Napoleonic British Hussars. It's been a while, but I was only doing them hopping a catch, as we say over here, so you know, every now and then. But finally got them over the finishing line, based, and yeah, 14 figures in total. Although it seems probably to most of you to have been about 400. I've said it before. I really enjoyed them. The jackets are a bit hard to police, to keep stuck down just using that. I've had to super glue about 4 or 5 of them, so I hope somebody's actually been kind enough to want to buy these off me. They're going abroad, so hopefully the rough and tumble of the postal service doesn't take the jackets off at the back. 1 minute. Sorry about that. Yet another sneeze. Yeah, they don't sit on fantastically. I don't know if you could have done any differently, because they're designed to, obviously you can have them on, or because they didn't always wear them or hang them. As I say, normally they'd be over the left shoulder, I believe, but where they are, or where I saw on the instructions, but for want of a better word, they didn't. They seem to, with a little notch, they seem to want to fit as if they're flying behind them, which is fair enough to me. So yeah, they were a bit problematical. People have asked me, do I paint them separately? I did actually do an experiment, because if I've done any at all, it would have been metals. So obviously they're already attached. Sorry about the clipper cloppy. Archie's decided he wants to investigate. I did do an experiment, and I painted 2, I believe, off the figure. You know, just a piece of blue tack, but then you've got to move them around and that. And to be honest, Tubesters, it's just as easy to get under there with a paintbrush. You know, you don't have to go mad with the highlights, obviously, because they're underneath. Just as long as you get the surface area done. I did have one come adrift, one of the ones that I'd put on with the normal modelling glue, and I had to retouch him, and there was a bit of primer area, because obviously it shifted its where I'd stuck it, and I had to retouch that up before I did the last coat of varnish on them. I varnished them with VMS varnish. One moment. No, I wasn't sneezing. I need to put the reading bins on for a minute. Hang on a second. Archie, will you settle down? Tap dancing all around the room. This is VMS varnish. It is VMS, isn't it? Yeah, VMS varnish. I'm just trying to see where it's made. It's Polish, I think. Yeah, it is Polish. That's gloss. Obviously I haven't used it on that, although I have used it on HMS Kent to put some decals on later on in the week. Satin and matte. Obviously I've matte coated these. Now it is a very, very flat matte, so the horses have lost some of the luster. You know, it's one of those trade-offs. I do also use Galleria varnish from Winsor & Newton. You can put a bit of water in there, and you can actually put a bit of I put sometimes Mr. Colour lacquer in there. What am I saying? We're not talking glug glug glug, a couple of drops, but water would do it. I put mine through an airbrush these days. I've since I started remodelling. You know what I mean. Got back into modelling and got airbrush and stuff. But that if you put that on too heavy, it can still go like milky occasionally on the figures. I've had it happen to me once, and I'm talking now, this is like 7 years ago, 8 years, 9 years ago. But I've also had it go shiny, so like a satin, and it took about different attempts with different things to get rid of it. And I've had that about 2 or 3 times, coated with a brush. And I don't believe really in the humidity factor. It was just, I brushed it on, and I think it's just gone on too heavy. You have to be a bit sparingly if you're going to brush varnish. Problem is, if you do it with a spray can, sometimes, as we all know, you do get the white coating. Frosting is the word I've been trying to find in my head as I was speaking to you. I do put this on. I've put this on with a brush on a couple of touch-ups I've done. You know, if I've, like, say with the figure I had to do a bit of repaint, I'll just get a brush and just dab it on. It's not worth getting everything out to do just a tiny part of the figure. Never had that happen. This stuff will go straight in your airbrush. You don't have to thin it out, and it does do it as they say in the tin. They do say you can, you know, use their stuff to thin it if you really want to, but it should go through your airbrush. And I put that through a 2mm needle, you know, in the brush, and it doesn't clog. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that, because people sometimes say, "Oh, how do you varnish them?" and that. These are what I've used in this instance. The Winsor & Newton I use a bit. You know, I get quite a bit of mileage out of a bottle that size, but because I use this for my scale modelling, I also, like on this occasion, I thought, no, I'm going to use that. I'd run out of my normal thinners. The rapid thinners, when I put a couple of drops in, that stuff don't work very well. And I just thought, no, let's go to these guys. But yeah, I do use this on my figures as well. Can't tell you the price in the UK, but I'm going to be sending off some supplies later on in the week, and I will probably get at least the matte varnish and the satin varnish in again. So yeah, that's what we've varnished anyway. 2mm static grass. I've, with my flop box thing, you know, chuck it up and it works okay. Cork rocks I've made myself, as I usually do. A couple of tufts. I've kept these fairly muted. I wanted the blue and the horses to show up more on the background, so the bases are fairly muted, and that was a reason for doing that. I put a coat and a varnish on with my airbrush when I've finished the figures. Let that go off, and then when I come around to them, which is usually a few days later, not particularly to let the varnish go off for a few days. It's obviously just when I get around to doing them. Stick all the figures down, do all the painting out, and then I do another coat of varnish over the top, because it also just keeps in all the static grass and things like that. So plenty of photos at the end. I've been putting these up as I've been doing them 2 at a time. So you've probably seen most of them before, apart from them not being based. But there's a chunk of photos at the end if you want to go and visit those. So let's go down and take a quick look. Right guys, thanks for joining me down at the bench. I've still got bits of the problem with static grass and painting on the same bench, I'm limited in space and it goes everywhere. I keep wiping the bench down, and then I find a bit more I have to take off a model or off a figure. Oh, it's a nightmare. But that's the only problem with static grass. I haven't got a garage. I have got a wet, damp metal shed that's useless for any type of working, so I have to do everything up here, and it gets everywhere, unfortunately. Right, there we go. So these are them en masse. Shame I didn't. They didn't do a 16, and I could have had the full issue across. Never mind. But their British units didn't carry their colours into battle when they were for the cavalry. It's too easy to lose them, and when I mean lose them, I mean as in take them by the enemy. British cavalry were noted for being not particularly greatly led, at least at the brigade and divisional type levels. What would normally happen is, that they'd attack with absolute fury. They were brilliant, you know. The problem was say they might charge a battery of French guns, and instead of sabering they'd saber the guns and that, but the gunners, instead of like turning round and reforming, they would then go, oh look, there's a baggage train over there, let's go and get them, or oh, look, there's some unformed French infantry, and they would overrun what they were supposed to be doing, and they would quite easily just disappear into the blue, or they would get countercharged by French cavalry, who were a lot better led and under a lot more discipline in that sense. But yeah, British cavalry were renowned for disappearing off the table, not in cowardice, just in taking too much on, and then they'd either, as I say, just disappear chasing some will-o'-the-wisp, or they'd be countercharged and more or less taken out of the battle as an effective fighting force. So yeah, you don't have to have these jackets on. You can remove them if you don't want to put them on, or if you don't want to go to all the braiding and things. It's not that hard to do. I say I'm not super happy with the attachments on them, to be fair, but there's not much I can do about that. And also I haven't done any of these with the pillies on the backs before, as I say, in plastic, so I might have been attaching them wrong, but it was a bit of a nightmare. I'm not going to pull them all up, you've seen them all before really, so and you'll see the photographs at the end. As I say, I've kept the bases fairly neutral. Sometimes I like a darker base, sometimes a lighter base if I'm really wanting to depict them in a particular conflict or whatever, but these are supposed to be, with their busbies on, they are supposed to be in the 100 Days campaign, because I believe they wore shakos before that. Again, you can obviously buy separate sprues to make up units. If I'd have bought a second, to make like an extra one up, I'd have probably got another officer. But then again, you have to have another trumpeter, and I wouldn't want particularly two. But you get, just to get a bit of variety really. That was my only reservation as well, apart from these fixing on strongly, was just the fact that the faces are fairly, compared to some of their other figures, there's not a lot of like shouting mouths open and that type of thing, and obviously arm poses, really you're left with, really, unless you're going to do conversions of really just where how high the saber is. So as you can see, I've tried to do some high, some low, some down the middle. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. As I say, that those drawbacks I've mentioned, they'd never be a deal killer for me. In fact, I've got another box of these to paint at some stage. I just bought them in when I found one that was going cheap, and I've got a box of French which I will crack open for an unboxing next week. I've got some, as you know, I've been starting to paint up a box of Epic. I put my British Epic up for sale, and they've gone off to the States, that I painted a while ago on eBay, and I put them up on eBay because I got no takers through word of mouth, and I was fortunate to sell those. I've got a unit of French Hussars. Let me just see if I can reach over. They're not 100. I haven't done any reds on them, greens on them yet, but I shouldn't be handling them. But these are the last stand to do for those guys. As I say, they've got to have the red and green put on them yet. But once they are done and they're up for sale, I will do a couple of start doing a couple of the French Hussars at a time. I was thinking of waiting and getting a box of infantry, and I'm just thinking, no, you've gone out and bought these boxes of cavalry, you might as well do at least one of them. And I've also got, which I will show properly, although it's only a box, somebody approached me seeing my Epic work, and asked me to do some Scots Greys as a commission. I can't remember offhand. I will give you the name of the... Some of you guys that know your wargame stuff will know that this is a 1980s original manufacture that's obviously being carried on. I painted these in the... Not these, I painted some French Lancers and that in the 80s. I'll go into on another video when I show them. Customers had to go at priming them and cleaning them off. I'll need to do a bit more cleaning on them and priming them. But I've got there for his epic British, so I've got those to do. So what'll be coming up Napoleonic wise will be, I'm not basing those by the way, so you'll only see them on bottle tops. We will, I know there's a lot of guys that like to see my 28mm Napoleonics, so they will be done. Couple of French. I haven't decided on the unit still. We'll have a look at that when I've not really unboxed it to look that hard. So we'll pick a French unit up and paint those as I go, because I want to do that commission, and that will take, because it's a commission, that will take priority. So I'll show you the French Hussars à pied de garde as epic scale. So that's roughly around 13mm. They will they'll come up as a, you know, once I've flopped them and put a colour on them. We'll do an sort of unboxing of these. We'll go into this Scots Greys I'm doing. Once I've done those, I've got the other two French Guard infantry units, which will be 2 Grenadier units that I'll be painting. On the side, I'm also painting these guys badly. I found these maybe just a touch softer on the faces than the French. I might be getting that wrong, but they did seem a bit softer on the faces. I might be getting that wrong with the beards and stuff. But yeah, I've got some Confederates. Still working on everything really, and that's the first two. Obviously, with Confederates, with all the mixes of uniforms, they're going to take forever. But yeah, back to these guys. Thank you for following along. I know I've been sticking 2 up at a time. I enjoy doing them. It's been a fun little project. As I say, although I don't, it's weird. Napoleonics aren't a core subject of mine to research, if that makes sense, and read up on. But I really enjoy painting them, so I pick a lot more. That's not to say I haven't got books on different, like Burgos and Baderhof and different and the Valkyrie debacle. I've got lots of books on that and loads on Napoleonic sailing, admirals and bits and pieces. But yeah, it's I enjoy painting them, if that makes sense. And I hadn't really been doing any 28mm horses, but I've thoroughly enjoyed doing these. So thank you for following along with that. As I say, hopefully you'll enjoy the French when I start getting those up, and maybe you'll enjoy the epic scale Scots Greys I'll be doing, and the continuous box of French. Because after those Grenadiers, I've also got the Marines of the Guard from the same box. I've got the Battery from the same box, and the Guard Engineers from the same box. So I'm putting these all up. The French infantry is going up for sale as I paint them. I was going to do the entire box, but I don't think I'll get a client or a customer who would want to pay that much money in one hit. So they're just going up as I paint them. The Battery and the Engineers and the Marines will go up probably as one sale, and the 3 regiments of foot they'll go up, you know, as I paint them. Anyway, thank you very much for stopping by and listening to me warble on. Much appreciated. Coming up sometime, I keep promising an update on the Lexington, USS Lexington in 1 in 700 scale, part of my modelling. She's been having some work done on her for the last few nights, so I've got a bit further forward. I've just been able to do a lot of filling and sanding, all down to me, I think, really. What else have we got? I've got those Roman Praetorians, only 4 of them or 6 of them, can't remember. But anyway, there'll be a quick video up on those. They're all painted and based and whatever. I did them the same time as I did these guys. That's why it's taken a while to show you. What else? Is there anything else on that front? No. I should have an update on HMS Kent as well, once I've done some decaling. That's 1 in 350 scale ship. Yeah, I do like my ship modelling. I'd say that out of all the, say I've got boxes of tanks and that, I'd say out of all the stuff I do, modelling wise, my ships are my favourite, definitely. I really enjoy doing bits of those, and I just do them as and when I want to. But yeah, lots on the painted soldier front. Oh, the Sister of Battle, how can we not forget her? She was supposed to have primer on the other day when I primed some other things. I only found another 3 mould lines just before I was about to prime it, and I thought, oh, I'll stuff this, I have to wait and have another cleaning session. But she's getting there. As I say, we'll have some work on that. We've got this guy here. Hello there. It's like one of these adverts when they go into interview. This is Blaze Malbus. He's a Star Wars Black Series, 6.5 inch, I don't know, something like that. His backpack's off at the moment. He looks a bit scuffed because I've been cleaning off mould lines, because that's going to be another repaint. I just thought I could do better than this. He came at a very favourable price. I just literally put a bid on when nobody else done it. I just stumbled across as it was coming down to like 10 minutes or I don't know, an hour. And I've also got another one that I did the same with, another Black Series. I'm not a huge fan of the later Disney ones, but in the film series anyway. But I did like Rogue One a lot, and I just wanted a figure that I could work on. So he's going to be a complete repaint. But unlike the Sister of Battle, that's plastic. Sorry, just raw plastic. Obviously, he's already got his stuff on. But we'll get that sorted somehow. Just thought I'd introduce him, as you do, in the middle of a Napoleonic video. Right, look after yourselves. Oh, and the one. Sorry, yeah, we're finally creeping to the end of the 1 in 48. No, sorry, the 1 in 32 scale M48 pattern tank in Vietnam. As I've said to you, she's all done. I wanted to add. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get some Vallejo mud, so there's going to be a delay on her. But I did do a tarpaulin that's going to get painted tomorrow. So do that. I'm going to add the crew figures. I've got to finish off painting the extra machine gun, which I forgot about. And then it's just the mud, and I wasn't satisfied, so I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get some, I think it's MIG that does the Vietnam mud, and get that sorted. And then she'll be ready for a show and tell. Is that everything, Gav? I believe it is. Right, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the support. All those guys that are making their videos out there, much appreciated. George, you did a fantastic video on his starting his Mark IV Panzer. He's doing it literally as he builds it. He's filming it, so that was great company. So thank you very much, and we will catch each other very soon on one of those 1001 videos I'll produce.